I think what's the most important thing right now is to understand that we set our sights very high before the season began. Our goals were very lofty. But within the next 7 days, we can accomplish a lot. But we'll have to play very well and beat an outstanding Notre Dame team and an outstanding Virginia Tech team. And Virginia Tech's pretty darn good, and they showed that when they played us here.
Can you say what the ultimate goal was? Like, what was the top goal, or is that like internal?
Well, no, our goals are always the same. We want to win the regular season championship, the tournament championship, and the national championship. It's nothing new. It's something we strive for every year. But some seasons you have better potential to accomplish those goals. But I've said this before. I think every team in the ACC should have those goals, and I'm guessing they do.
How would you assess your team's potential at this point to reach all three of those goals?
I think the answer to that is we've played pretty consistently well. We need to continue to do that and to take a step forward at the defensive end and rebounding. We need to continue to do what we've been doing offensively, which is share the ball. But we really need to pick it up defensively and rebounding. And when we did that against Louisville on Saturday, late in the game, we were not great defensively in the first half, and we were not able to stop them to start the second half. They built up a double-digit lead on us. But in the closing 5 to 7 minutes, we played our best defense of the game and some of our best defense of the season. And I thought we did the same thing on Monday night against Virginia. Virginia's an outstanding offensive as well as defensive team, and we were able to pull away right at the end. Won by a single shot. We won by 3. So these games are all so close, and they can swing in a moment's notice. But we were fortunate. We won those 2 games, and now we have to play the most efficient offensive team in the ACC, and they're number 2 in the country in offensive efficiency. So if our defense isn't at its best, then the result will not be what we want.
You think if you're playing at your best, if you are rebounding, you think you have the team that could go 1, 2, 3 in those goals?
Well, I think there's that potential. And the reason I say that is because right now, there's nobody ahead of us. It's not like I look around the country and say, well, those 5 or 10 teams are much better than us. No, we think we're in the strongest league in the country, and we're tied with North Carolina. And I think a lot of people think North Carolina has an excellent chance of winning the national championship. They probably think Virginia does too. And yet, in a week, we could be regular season champions, and maybe the thought will change on us. I don't know. It's never changed in my mind. And the national rankings haven't changed yet, right?
7 and the coaches, AP's not out yet. AP comes out at about 1:30.
Okay, so we're 7th. I think anybody in the top 25 should be thinking we could win our conference, regular season, tournament, and national championship. If you're one of the best 25 teams, what's to say you can't go on a roll and do that?
Coach, hammering the point of defense and rebounding, is that every coach in America? Because offense can come and go, but the one constant can be that.
Well, defense is about effort and execution. If without the effort, you can't execute. You have to have great effort at the defensive end of the floor. Rebounding is also effort and execution, where the team with the best position normally wins. Offense is more about skill level, the ability to handle the ball, pass the ball, shoot the ball, and execute your offensive game plan. And just the nature of offense is, if you're really, really good, you still miss half your shots. So it doesn't take much if the other team is really challenging everything you do, for your field goal percentage, your shot-making ability to drop from 50% down to 40. Well, 50% would win just about every game, and 40% would probably get you beat. So that's why there's that major gap of why coaches focus so much on the defense, because you can control it a little bit better.
Does it sink into the players, or you have to keep?
Oh, no. Players don't care about defense. All they want to do is score. All they want to do is simulate Steph Curry's ball handling drills and three-point shooting ability. And they want to be like Kevin Durant. They want to dunk the ball like LeBron. You know, they want to get as many shots as James Harden gets. Kids are all about volume and offense. Coaches are all about defense and rebounding.
Speaking of volume, you only took 10, I believe,
11,
exactly, 11 three-point shots.
and we made 8.
You made 8. I mean, that's pretty remarkable. I mean, would you have thought if you had only had 11 going in, that you were going to wind up on the plus side? Because you always talk about making 7 or 8.
Yeah, well, we made 8.
I know you
So
made 8.
the whole point is, if we could have gone 8 for 8, I would have really been happy. No, I think the whole idea is be selective. Shoot the shots that you can make. We're a very good shooting team, and our offensive numbers indicate that. Now, we've had stretches where we didn't shoot the three very well, but we still stayed in the top 25 teams in the country in offensive efficiency this year. And the other day, I'm looking at our stats at halftime. What were we shooting, 58%? And we're behind by 2. So I'm thinking to myself, it's not the offense.
You had, obviously, the one game without Jaquan, now you've got 2 more on the road. How do you begin to replace a player like that, especially on the road?
We don't replace him. We just tell Angel to play a lot more minutes. It's up to Angel, Sheldon, Davon, and basically James Palmer to do what needs to be done at the offensive and defensive end of the court. Those are the guys that are going to play the minutes. Jaquan just had a fantastic regular season, and I believe should win the ACC Sixth Man of the Year award. Even though he's missing these last 3 games in the 15 games he played in, I don't think there's a sixth man in the league that did what he did. We miss him. We'll be excited to have him back, but in the meantime, the goal is still to play as well as we can play.
March is a season unto itself. Have you been doing this long enough that you have a pretty good sense with the team, how they're going to play in March? Or
No, I'm gonna have to do this probably 20 or 30 more years before I get a feel.
you really don't know? But
Here's what I would say, that the best way to judge what possibly could happen in the future is to look at the past. Has a team been consistent? Are they efficient at both ends of the court? And I would say with our team this year, the answer is yes to both. You can look in the past, these past games that we've played, and said, has this team been consistent offensively and defensively? And the answer is yeah. It doesn't mean they've been consistent at everything, but the overall picture, we wouldn't be, what's our record? 23-5? That's pretty darn good. Is that the best regular season record? What was our record going into the last week of the season?
29-7, I think, so we'll have 6 less, 23.
We had 23 wins then.
You talked about Angel's improvement from last year to this year. Can you talk about how much growth you've seen from Sheldon from when he came in, 3 years ago to where he is now, on and off the court?
Well, I'd like to first speak about Angel. I thought last year he was sensational at times, but then there were times he wasn't even playing well. This year, he has had a much more consistent year, and he's doing so many things well. He's shooting the ball well, he's passing the ball well, he's defending well, He's coming up with loose balls and rebounds. So he's playing the whole game. And it's a reflection of our success. You know, you only win if your players play really well. In Sheldon McClellan's case, I've said this over and over again, he's so team-oriented, he's never going to dominate in quantity. But what he does is his quality of work, his body of work is so consistently efficient that you got to give him tremendous credit. Where a lot of guys are up and down, he's as steady as a rock. Now, he may not get 20 every night, but when you look at his statistics over 28 games, in like 23 or 4 of those games, his field goal percentage is over 50%. That's spectacular because that allows a coach to know, hey, we're going to get a major contribution from Sheldon every night.
Is that a change though from where?
Well, that's what when he came here it was. I was very surprised when Sheldon told me he was he lacked confidence in his three-point shooting. And yet when I watched him shoot in practice, his three-point shooting was terrific. So all we needed to do was build up his self-esteem and his belief in himself. It wasn't like we had to improve his shot. The shot was already there. All we needed to do is let him know what good is. And when we do the 5 minutes of threes drill, and he's averaging over 60, and it's the highest on the team, and he knows it, and we do the free throw ladder, and the free throw ladder determines, are you at the top of the ladder, meaning the best on the team, or the bottom of the ladder, meaning you're one of the guys who don't shoot very good from the free throw line, and he's at the top of the ladder all season long or fighting for the top spot. That lets him know that he's the best we have in those two categories, and he should play with great confidence and try to get to the foul line because he's so good at making free throws. And if he gets an open three, it's the green light. He's so good at making them.
Jim, you mentioned James Palmer. When he's had extended run, he's gone 3 for 9 and 1 for 4, but last game he was 3 for 3. Can you just assess kind of his game and what you need from him?
Yeah, I thought it's been a while since James really played with that confidence and happiness that you want your players playing with. I thought he was smiling a lot. He was terrific in practice. He has the ability to make all the shots, the ones even that he missed. But when he makes them, of course, that makes him feel good and me feel good that he's playing well at the offensive end. But what has pleased me is his attitude and effort every day has been very, very good. And if that keeps up, then that's another player playing really well and consistently well that we can count on for the remainder of the season.
I don't remember which game it was. I was watching. It was a game where they were talking about end of the season practice time, keeping the pedal down on the player or taking off the pedal to kind of refresh them. Do you approach this last, say, couple of weeks or March any differently as far as intensity in practices, long practices, this kind of thing?
Well, there's 3 things we always evaluate: frequency, duration, intensity. Frequency, how often are we practicing? Duration, how long is the practice? And intensity, how challenging is the practice? How competitive are we going to make it? At this time of the year, the frequency is still pretty much the same. We're always going to take 1 day off a week, and sometimes we take 2. So we're going to play 2 games, we're going to practice 3 times and take 2 days off. The duration of the practice is drastically shorter than it was earlier in the year. Whereas in November and December and part of January, we're going 2.5 hours. Now we're probably practicing an hour, maybe an hour and 10 minutes, and that's it. One more. The intensity is then reduced as well in terms of if you're practicing 2.5 hours, it might be intense, major portion of those 2.5 hours. Whereas at this time of year, the intensity will be really focused on the defense. We're going to put all our effort into the defense And then offense is much more of what we call shell, or shadow defense, where we're kind of fine tuning, but not going head to head very long.
Is this something you picked up over the years or changed from when you first
It-
started coaching?
My first year at George Mason, I brought in a physical fitness expert to talk about practice planning. And he talked about biorhythms. And the biorhythms were this, that you have to determine on what day of the week you want to be your best. And then plan for that. So what days do you want to be your best? Well, when I was at George Mason, those days were Wednesday and Saturday, because those were game days. And what day can you take off? That can become routine. Well, we're taking Sundays off. So that means you only have 4 potential practice days, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. So in order to play the best on Wednesday and Saturday, you got to build your practice plan around being your best on Wednesday and Saturday. So Monday was a fairly long, extensive day. Tuesday was much shorter but very intense. Wednesday was game day. Thursday was a recovery day. Friday was short but intense. Saturday, play well. And we did that for 14 years. Now, we've kept that up. The difference in the ACC is you're not playing Wednesday and Saturday. You might be playing Monday, Saturday. You might be playing Saturday, Monday, Thursday. I mean, your schedule is totally out of your hands.
Noon or midnight?
What were you going to ask, Matt?
I can never tell when you're pausing, so sorry.
Sorry, no.
Pausing or continuing. I want to ask you, I don't think you've been asked this year, but, every team has its own personality or type of cohesiveness. I was curious, is the way this team built, is it the personality that might be a really good fit for the postseason this year to help them sort of keep mentally strong? Talk about that a little bit, maybe, if there is such a thing.
Well, I think a team that's suited for postseason play is all about leadership and guard play. I think long seasons, postseason, your big guys have to play well, but the ball is in the hands of your guards 75% of the time. If they don't play well, you're not winning. They have to play well. You hope your big guys also play really well, but if your guards let you down, then you're in trouble. We happen to have the right balance. We've got really good experience in the backcourt and in the front court. We have good balance in the way we score, and we have a very good group that is improved defensively. And if we rebound well, in addition to that, then we can be a tough out. Thank you.